Hey y'all. So I want to talk to you about one of my close buddies. He is such a sweetheart, and I found out why, and I want to share it with you. His parents are solid. They are not toxic. They are not liars. They're not manipulators. They're not cheaters. Even if they disagreed, and they're still together, but, well, they're not together anymore. I mean, they passed away, but they stayed married until death, okay? Even if they disagreed on something when it was presented, and whatever it was presented in front of the kids, they had a solid stance. They weren't argumentative with each other, and the kids get to witness that toxicity. They were solid when they were approaching the kids. His father was strict to teach him responsibility. When he became of age to get a job, he's like, what are you going to do with your life? I'm going to get a job and this and that. And he said, and I'm going to go into the military. He said, okay. But you're going to pay rent while you live here, and you're going to pay $400. He said, when do you go into the military? He said, in a couple of weeks or whatever the time frame was. You're going to pay rent while you're here until you go into the military, because you're going to have to learn responsibility. So he paid $400 until he went in the military. But before he went in the military, just before, his dad gave him the $400 back. He wasn't trying to grab his money. He was just trying to teach him that this is what you're supposed to do if you stay somewhere. This is how how you're going to be responsible. And he just grew up with integrity, values, morals. He was a hard worker. He's retired now, but he was in the military for a long time. He was working with the oil in Alaska with the military. And he was always a good leader. And again, he has integrity because he was taught that from a young age. So how you grow up with your parents will make or break you. And it doesn't have to break you permanently. Once you realize that there's issues, you have issues, then you could go to therapy and you could get that resolved, or read self-help books and practice what you read. There's ways that you can learn to become a better person, unless it's something with your biochemical, you've got a personality disorder, or you've got something else going on where medicine, you would need to be in medicine. But even so, you can still learn to be a better person. Everybody don't have to suffer because you've got something going on. All right, that's not fair to other people. So he's just a good person. I think he married the wrong people. He's been married a couple of times, and for some reason I don't know, he must have married nuts, because he is the easiest person to get along with. The absolute easiest person to get along with. His wife doesn't have to tell him the same thing 50 times. I asked you to cut the grass. I asked you to cut the grass. I asked you to cut the grass. And now, of course, a person becomes a victim, and I'm being nagged. If you would have did it the first time the person asked you, you wouldn't feel like you're being nagged. Okay? If his wife asks him to do it, she just has to ask him one time. And I always tease him about having a honey-do list. He said, oh, well, I always have a honey-do list. And if his wife says, can you do such and such, he writes it down. He doesn't ignore her like a lot of guys do, or a lot of people do. They ignore their partner. Yeah, whatever. He doesn't do that. You have to ask him one time. That's it. He jots it down so he doesn't forget. He has integrity. He is a breath of fresh air. It is like talking to him and being in his presence is like biting into a peppermint patty. He's just so different. And integrity means you're going to do the right thing, whether someone witnesses it or not. You're still going to do the right thing, because that's what integrity is. And he's just impressive. I said, I hope every time you see me, you don't feel like you're being interviewed. He's very honest. He's very open. He doesn't BS people. That's just not who he is. That's just not who he is. And I don't know. Like I said, he's super, super duper easy to get along with. He's got such unique qualities that I really don't see in people very often, to be quite brutally honest. I don't see the traits that he has. I don't see those very often in people. He doesn't judge people. He doesn't talk about them behind their back or in front of their face to make them feel bad. He's just not disordered like that. That's just not who he is. He's a breath of fresh air. Everywhere you look, he's a breath of fresh air. So, person of the week is my friend Pat. And I think the world of you, dude. And you're lucky, your wife's lucky to have you. Your friends are lucky to know you. And if more people were like you, the world would be a better place. Y'all take care. Much love. Bye-bye.